I never thought I'd be that woman. The one who destroys her own family from the inside. The one who kisses someone in the dark and then goes home to make dinner like nothing happened. But here I am, 63 years old, standing in my kitchen in Portland, Oregon, watching my husband of 40 years eat the lasagna I made while I'm still tasting another man's lips on mine. And the worst part, my daughter just told me I've changed, that I'm not myself anymore. She has no idea how right she is, because the woman I was died 6 months ago, and I don't know if I want her back. Let me start from the beginning, because none of this makes sense without understanding how perfect my life looked from the outside. My name is Margaret, and I've spent 4 decades being exactly what everyone needed me to be. The dutiful wife to Robert, a successful architect who provided everything we could want. The devoted mother to Sarah, who's now 35 with 2 kids of her own. The reliable friend, the volunteer at church, the woman who always had her life together. I lived in a beautiful craftsman house in the suburbs, had my garden club on Thursdays, and never missed a Sunday dinner with family. But somewhere along the way, I disappeared, not all at once. It was gradual, like water eroding stone. Every time Robert made a decision without asking me. Every time he patted my hand and said, "Don't worry about it, dear," when I tried to discuss our retirement plans. Every time Sarah treated me like I was fragile, incapable, too old to understand the modern world. I became smaller and smaller until I was just a function, not a person. Not Margaret, just Mom, just Robert's wife. Then I met Daniel. It happened at the community center where I'd started taking art classes. I'd always wanted to paint, but Robert thought it was frivolous, a waste of money. But after my mother passed away last year and left me a small inheritance, I decided to do something just for me. Daniel was the instructor. 58, silver hair, hands stained with charcoal and paint. He looked at my terrible first attempts at watercolor and said, "You're afraid. I can see it in your brushstrokes. What are you so scared of?" Nobody had asked me that in 30 years. We started talking after class, just coffee at first, discussing art and life and all the dreams we'd buried. He'd been divorced for 5 years, said his ex-wife told him he was too passionate, too intense, that he needed to grow up and be practical. He'd spent 2 decades being practical, working in advertising, and it had eaten him alive. Now he was teaching, painting, living in a small apartment in downtown Portland, and he was happier than he'd ever been. "You only get one life, Margaret," he told me one afternoon, his hand accidentally brushing mine as we both reached for the sugar. "Why are you spending it being someone you're not?" I should have walked away right then, but I didn't. Because for the first time in decades, someone saw me. Not as Robert's wife or Sarah's mother, just me, Margaret, the woman who still existed underneath all those roles. If you've ever felt invisible in your own life, please subscribe to this channel. You're not alone, and I want you to hear what happened next. The first time we kissed was in his studio. I'd stayed late to work on a painting, and he came up behind me to show me a technique. His hand on mine, guiding the brush, the smell of oil paint and his cologne. And then we were turning toward each other, and his lips were on mine, and 40 years of being good and responsible and dutiful just shattered. I drove home in a daze, my hands shaking on the steering wheel. Robert was watching television when I came in, barely looked up to ask how class was. "Fine," I said, my voice steady even though I was screaming inside. It was fine. That night, lying next to my husband in the bed we'd shared for 4 decades, I couldn't sleep. What had I done? What kind of person was I becoming? But underneath the guilt was something else. Something that felt like waking up after a very long sleep. It should have stopped there. One kiss, a moment of madness. But it didn't. Daniel texted me the next morning. "I can't stop thinking about you. I know this is complicated, but I've never felt this way before. Please, can we talk?" I should have said no. I should have blocked his number and never gone back to that art class. But I met him for coffee instead. Then lunch. Then long drives up the coast where we'd park overlooking the ocean and talk for hours. He told me about his dreams of opening his own gallery. I told him about the poetry I used to write in college, before Robert convinced me it wouldn't lead anywhere practical. Do you still write? Daniel asked. No, I admitted. I haven't written a poem in 38 years. That's a crime, he said, his eyes intense. Margaret, you're letting your light go out. Don't you see that? We were sitting in his car, the rain pattering on the windows, the gray Oregon sky pressing down on us. And I kissed him again. This time it wasn't an accident or a moment of weakness. It was a choice. The affair began in earnest after that. I'd tell Robert I was going to art class or to the garden club or shopping with friends. Instead, I'd go to Daniel's apartment. We'd paint together, talk for hours, and yes, we'd be together in ways I can't describe in detail here. But it wasn't just physical. It was emotional. He made me feel alive again, seen, valued, like I mattered as a person, not just a role. But the guilt was eating me alive. Every time I looked at Robert, I wanted to confess. Every Sunday dinner with Sarah and her family, I felt like a fraud. I'd hold my grandchildren and think, what would they think of you if they knew? I started losing weight, couldn't sleep, jumped every time my phone rang. Subscribe to hear how this impossible situation gets even more complicated. Trust me, you won't believe where this goes. 3 months into the affair, Sarah noticed something was wrong. She showed up at my house one Tuesday morning, unannounced, with Starbucks and concern in her eyes. "Mom, what's going on with you?" she asked, sitting at my kitchen table. "You've lost weight. You seem distracted. Dad says you're never home anymore. Are you sick? Should you see a doctor?" The irony of her concern made me want to laugh and cry at the same time. For years, I'd been slowly disappearing and nobody noticed. Now that I was finally coming alive again, suddenly everyone was worried. "I'm fine, sweetheart," I lied. "Just been busy with my art classes and volunteer work." "Art classes?" She looked skeptical. "Since when are you interested in art?" "Since always," I said, and there was an edge to my voice I couldn't hide. "I've always been interested in art. You just never asked." Sarah blinked, taken aback. "Mom, I didn't mean—" "I know you didn't." I softened. "I'm sorry. I'm just tired." She studied me for a long moment. "You're different lately. I can't put my finger on it, but you're just different." If she only knew. That conversation shook me. I told Daniel we needed to slow down, to think about what we were doing. But he pushed back. "Margaret, I love you," he said. We were in his apartment, the city lights of Portland glittering through the window. "I know that's crazy. I know it's too soon, but I do. And I think you love me too. Why are we fighting this?" "Because I'm married," I said, my voice breaking. "Because I have a family. Because I'm not some reckless 20-year-old who can just blow up her entire life for passion." "Is it really blowing up your life?" he challenged. "Or is it finally living it?" I couldn't answer that, because deep down I didn't know. The next few weeks were torture. I tried to end it with Daniel twice. Both times he'd call me and I'd hear his voice and I'd go running back. At the same time, I tried to reconnect with Robert. I suggested we take a trip together, just the two of us. He said he was too busy with a big project at work, maybe next year. I asked if we could go to couples counseling just to improve our communication. He looked at me like I was crazy. "Why would we need counseling?" he asked. "Everything's fine." But everything wasn't fine. I was having an affair. Our marriage had been dead for years and he didn't even see it. Or maybe he saw it and didn't care. Hit that subscribe button if you want to know how this all falls apart, because it does. Spectacularly. The breaking point came on Robert's 65th birthday. Sarah planned a big party at our house. Family, friends, colleagues. I spent days preparing, cooking, decorating, playing the perfect wife. Daniel texted me that morning. "I miss you. When can I see you?" "I can't today," I replied. "It's Robert's birthday." "Of course. Happy birthday to him. I wish I were the one celebrating with you." I should have turned off my phone. But I didn't. The party was in full swing when Daniel texted again. "I'm sorry. I know today is hard for you. I just need you to know that I'm here. that I see you, that you're not alone. I was in the kitchen when the message came through. I read it, and tears started falling. All around me, people were laughing and celebrating, and I was crying over a text from my lover. Sarah walked in and found me like that. "Mom?" Her voice was alarmed. "What's wrong? What happened?" I quickly wiped my eyes, shoved my phone in my pocket. "Nothing, honey. Just overwhelmed. You know how parties stress me out." But Sarah's not stupid. She'd seen the phone in my hand, seen the way I'd hidden it. "Who were you texting?" she asked, her voice careful. "Just a friend from garden club." I lied. "Can I see?" My heart stopped. "What?" "Your phone. Can I see who you were texting?" "Sarah, that's ridiculous." "Mom, please, I'm worried about you. You've been so strange lately, and now you're crying at Dad's birthday party and hiding your phone. Just show me and I'll stop worrying." We stood there in my kitchen, my daughter and I, having a standoff. I could have shown her the phone, Robert's name, made up some reason why a text from him would make me cry. But I didn't, because I was so tired of lying. "No," I said quietly. "I won't show you my phone." The look on her face, disappointment, hurt, suspicion, nearly broke me. "Are you having an affair?" she whispered. The question hung in the air between us. I opened my mouth to deny it, to lie, to protect her and myself and this precarious balance I'd been maintaining, but the words wouldn't come. "Oh my God," Sarah said, stepping back. "You are. Mom, you're having an affair." "Sarah, please. How could you?" Her voice rose. "Dad is out there celebrating his birthday with all these people, and you're in here texting with who? Who is he?" "It's complicated," I said weakly. "It's not complicated," she hissed, keeping her voice down so the party guests wouldn't hear. "It's wrong. It's so wrong, Mom. How long has this been going on?" 6 months. She looked like I'd slapped her. 6 months. You've been lying to us for 6 months. I haven't been lying. I've been struggling. Sarah, you don't understand. You're right, I don't understand. I don't understand how my mother, who taught me about loyalty and commitment and doing the right thing, could betray Dad like this, could betray all of us. "Your father checked out of our marriage years ago," I said, and there was anger in my voice now. "He treats me like a housekeeper, not a partner. When was the last time he asked me about my day, my dreams? When was the last time he really looked at me?" If this story is resonating with you, please subscribe. I need to know I'm not alone in this. "So that makes it okay." Sarah's eyes were filled with tears. "He's not perfect, so you just get to cheat? You get to destroy our family?" "I'm not trying to destroy anything. I'm trying to survive. By sleeping with someone else? By remembering that I exist." My voice cracked. "Do you know what it's like to disappear, Sarah? To become so invisible that your own husband forgets you're in the room? Your own daughter treats you like you're senile?" "I don't treat you like you're senile." "Yes, you do. You both do. You make decisions for me, talk over me, pat me on the head like I'm a child. I'm 63, not 93. I still have dreams. I still have desires. I still have a life I want to live." "Then divorce him," Sarah said. "If you're so unhappy, divorce Dad. But don't do this. Don't be this person." "I don't know how to leave," I whispered. "I don't know who I am without him. Without this life. That's what terrifies me." We stood there, both crying now, the sounds of the party filtering in from the other room. Someone was toasting Robert. Everyone was laughing. "What are you going to do?" Sarah finally asked. "I don't know." "Are you going to tell Dad?" "I don't know." "Does he know? This man?" "Daniel," I said. "His name is Daniel. And yes, he knows about Robert." "Does he want you to leave Dad?" I thought about Daniel, about his apartment overlooking the city, about the way he painted me. Not as a wife or a mother, but as a woman. As Margaret. "He wants me to be happy," I said. "And are you? Happy with him?" I thought about that. Really thought about it. When I'm with him, I feel alive, but the guilt is killing me. So no, I'm not happy. I'm tortured. But I'm alive, which is more than I've been in years. Sarah wiped her eyes. I don't know what to say to you right now, Mom. I don't know how to process this. I know, I'm sorry. Are you going to end it? With Daniel? I don't know, I said honestly. I should. I know I should. But I don't know if I can. You have to decide, Sarah said. Because this can't continue. It's going to come out. These things always do. And when it does, it's going to destroy Dad. It's going to destroy this family. The family was already broken, I said quietly. You just didn't see it. Sarah left the kitchen without another word. I watched her go back to the party, watched her smile and laugh and pretend everything was fine. She was good at that. She'd learned from the best. I made it through the rest of the evening on autopilot, smiled for pictures, cut the cake, let Robert kiss me in front of everyone while I died inside. When the last guest left and it was just us, he put his arm around me. Great party, Maggie, he said. He only called me Maggie when he was feeling affectionate. You outdid yourself. Thanks, I managed. You okay? You seem tired. Just a long day. He kissed my forehead. Well, thank you. For everything. I'm a lucky man. I wanted to scream. I wanted to tell him everything, but I just nodded and went to clean up. Subscribe if you think you know what happens next. I promise you don't. That night, I lay awake next to Robert, staring at the ceiling. My phone buzzed. Daniel. Are you okay? You never replied earlier. I'm worried. I should have ignored it. Instead, I texted back. Sarah knows. 3 dots appeared immediately. Then, what happened? She saw me upset. Reading your text. She figured it out. God, Margaret, I'm so sorry. What did you tell her? The truth. Is she going to tell Robert? I don't know. She wants me to end it. With you. A long pause. Then, and what do you want? That was the question, wasn't it? What did I want? I wanted to not feel guilty. I wanted my daughter to understand. I wanted Robert to wake up and see me. I wanted to be 25 again with my whole life ahead of me and better choices to make. I wanted to be brave enough to leave. I wanted to be good enough to stay. I want to disappear, I texted back. Don't say that. Please, I love you. I love you too. That's the problem. I turned off my phone and tried to sleep, but of course I couldn't. The next morning, Sarah showed up again. Alone this time. I didn't sleep at all last night, she said. I keep thinking about what you said, about being invisible, about Dad checking out. Sarah, let me finish. I've been thinking about my own marriage, about how much I've changed since I had kids, how much of myself I've lost. And I wonder, is that what happened to you? Did you just lose yourself in being a wife and mother, and now you're trying to find yourself again? I nodded, tears filling my eyes. But Mom, this isn't the way. Having an affair isn't the way to find yourself. It's just causing more pain. I know, I whispered, but when I'm with him, I remember who I used to be, who I still am underneath everything. Then find that person without him. Go to therapy, take your art classes, travel, do all the things you've wanted to do. But don't blow up your marriage for someone you barely know. I've known him for 6 months. Exactly. 6 months. You've been married to Dad for 40 years. Doesn't that count for something? It counts for everything. That's why this is so hard. Sarah took my hand. Are you in love with this Daniel person? Really in love? Or are you in love with how he makes you feel? That question hit me like a punch to the gut. Because I didn't know the answer. Click subscribe to stay with me through this impossible choice. I need you here. Over the next few days, I barely spoke to Robert. He noticed, of course, but interpreted it as me being tired from the party. Sarah kept texting me, asking if I'd ended it yet. Daniel kept calling, wanting to see me. I felt pulled in 3 different directions, and I was tearing apart. Finally, I told Daniel we needed to meet. Really talk about what we were doing. We met at a coffee shop in a neighborhood where I wouldn't run into anyone I knew. He looked worried when he arrived, his hair messy like he'd been running his hands through it. You're going to end it, aren't you? he said as soon as he sat down. I don't know. That's why I wanted to talk. Margaret, I love you. I know it's complicated, but I love you, and I think you love me too. I do love you, I admitted. But Sarah asked me something yesterday that I can't stop thinking about. Am I in love with you, or am I in love with how you make me feel? He looked hurt. Is there a difference? Yes, there is. Because if it's just about how you make me feel, then I'm using you, and you're using me. We're both just filling voids. That's not what this is, he insisted. I know you, Margaret. I see you, the real you, not the version you've been playing for 40 years. But is that real? I asked. Or is it just another role? The passionate artist having a dramatic love affair? Is that any more real than being someone's wife and mother? He didn't have an answer for that. We sat in silence for a long time. Around us, people were living their normal lives, ordering coffee, checking their phones. No idea that two people were falling apart at a corner table. I need time, I finally said. I need to figure out what I really want. Not what you want, not what Sarah wants, not what Robert wants, what I want. How much time? I don't know. Maybe a lot, maybe forever. So this is ending. I don't know, I said, and I was crying now. I just know I can't keep doing this. I can't keep lying and sneaking around and feeling like I'm two different people. I need to figure out who I actually am. I can help you do that, Daniel said, reaching for my hand. No, I said gently, pulling away. You can't. Because when I'm with you, I'm whoever you need me to be. Just like with Robert. I need to be alone. Really alone. Maybe for the first time in my life. He looked devastated, but he nodded. If that's what you need. I think it is. We sat there a little longer, not touching, just being near each other one last time. Then he left, and I stayed, staring at my cold coffee and wondering what the hell I was going to do next. That night, I did something I hadn't done in years. I told Robert I needed to talk. He looked alarmed. Is something wrong? Are you sick? No, but we need to talk. Really talk. We sat in the living room, and for the first time in maybe a decade, the TV was off. I'm not happy, I said. I haven't been happy in a long time. He looked confused. What do you mean? We have a good life. We have everything we need. I'm not talking about things, Robert. I'm talking about us, our marriage. When was the last time we really connected? Really talked? We talk all the time. No, we don't. You talk at me. You tell me about your projects and your plans. But you never ask about mine, because you don't think I have any. That's not true. It is true. When was the last time you asked me what I want to do with the rest of my life? Where I want to travel? What dreams I still have? He looked genuinely puzzled. I don't know. I guess I thought we were on the same page about retirement. We'll travel some, spend time with the grandkids. But what if that's not enough for me? What if I want more? Like what? I thought about art classes and poetry and feeling alive. But I didn't mention Daniel. Not yet. I've started painting, I said. I've been taking classes. I know, that's fine. It's not just fine to me, Robert. It's important. It's something that makes me feel like myself. Okay, he said slowly. That's good. I'm glad you have a hobby. It's not a hobby. It's part of who I am. He was silent for a moment. Then, I feel like I'm missing something here, Maggie. What are you really trying to say? I could have told him then. About Daniel. About the affair. About how I'd already betrayed him in the worst possible way. But I couldn't. Not yet. I'm saying I need more, I said. From life. From you. From myself. I need to figure out who I am beyond being your wife and Sarah's mother. He looked hurt. So being my wife isn't enough? That's not what I'm saying. It sounds like that's exactly what you're saying. Please subscribe to see how this conversation destroys what's left of my marriage, or saves it. I still don't know. We talked for hours that night. Robert, to his credit, tried to understand. But there was a gulf between us that 40 years had created, and I didn't know if we could bridge it. "Do you want a divorce?" he finally asked. His voice was quiet, afraid. "I don't know," I said honestly. "I don't know what I want. That's the problem." "Is there someone else?" My heart stopped. "Why would you ask that?" Because you're acting like someone who's fallen in love with someone else. Distant, distracted, pulling away. I could have denied it, should have, but I was so tired of lying. "There was someone," I said carefully, "but it's over now." The look on his face, I'll never forget it. Shock, pain, betrayal, all of it crashing over him at once. "How long?" he whispered. 6 months. But it ended. Today, I ended it. 6 months. He stood up, started pacing. 6 months you've been lying to me, cheating on me. Who is he? It doesn't matter. It matters to me. Who is he? My art teacher. His name is Daniel. Robert laughed, but there was no humor in it. Of course, the art teacher. How cliché. Robert, did you sleep with him? I couldn't answer. Oh God. He sat back down, his head in his hands. You slept with him. My wife slept with another man. I'm sorry. Sorry? He looked up at me, and there were tears in his eyes. That's all you have to say? You destroyed 40 years of marriage, and all you can say is sorry? What else can I say? I made a mistake, a huge, terrible mistake, but it made me realize that something is broken between us. Has been for years. So it's my fault? His voice rose. You cheat on me, and it's my fault? No, it's not your fault. It's both of our faults. We stopped seeing each other, Robert. We stopped being partners. We became roommates who occasionally had sex and showed up to family events together. That's marriage, he said. That's what marriage becomes after 40 years. It doesn't have to be. It shouldn't be. We went back and forth like that for another hour. The pain, the accusations, the years of resentment spilling out. Finally, exhausted, we went to bed, in separate rooms. The next few weeks were hell. Robert barely spoke to me. Sarah knew something had happened but didn't push for details. I stopped going to art class. I blocked Daniel's number. I tried to be the perfect wife again, to somehow atone for what I'd done. But the person I'd been before, the invisible, compliant Margaret, was gone. And I didn't want her back. One night, Sarah came over. Robert was working late, or avoiding home more likely. Mom, you need to tell me what's going on, she said. You and Dad are clearly in crisis, and I need to know if my family is falling apart. So I told her everything. About ending it with Daniel, about confessing to Robert, about how we were in limbo now, neither together nor apart. What do you want? Sarah asked, echoing the question everyone kept asking me. I want to be happy, I said. I want to feel alive. I want to matter. You do matter, Mom. To me, to the kids, to Dad, even if he doesn't show it well. But I don't matter to myself, I said. That's what I realized. I don't even know who I am anymore. Sarah was quiet for a long time. Then, when I was growing up, you were everything to me. The strongest, most capable woman I knew. But somewhere along the way, you got smaller. And I don't think it was just Dad. I think you did it to yourself. You made yourself smaller to fit into everyone else's lives. Her words hit me like a physical blow, because she was right. So what do I do now? I asked. Stop waiting for permission to live your life. From Dad, from me, from Daniel, from anyone. Just live it. Subscribe to find out what I decide, because I'm still deciding. Every single day. So here I am, 3 months after confessing everything to Robert. We're still living in the same house but sleeping in separate rooms. We're in couples therapy now, his idea, surprisingly. He's trying, really trying, asking about my day, looking at my paintings, suggesting trips we could take. But I don't know if it's enough, or if it's too late. Daniel has tried to contact me a few times. I've blocked him on everything, but sometimes I dream about him, about feeling alive, about being seen. Sarah checks on me constantly. She's worried I'm going to do something dramatic. Leave Robert. Run off with Daniel. But I'm not doing any of those things. I'm painting, writing poetry again for the first time in decades, taking long walks alone, figuring out who Margaret is when she's not performing for anyone. Some days I think I'll stay with Robert. We have history, shared memories, grandchildren. Maybe we can rebuild something real. Other days I want to leave everything behind. Start fresh, be bold, live the life I've been too scared to live. And some days, most days, I just don't know. My daughter was right about one thing. I'm not myself anymore. But maybe that's okay. Maybe the self I was wasn't working. Maybe I need to become someone new. The question is, who? Robert asked me last night if I still love him. I told him the truth. I don't know. I love the life we built. I love our history. I love the man he was. But I don't know if I love the man he is now, or if he can love the woman I'm becoming. Give me a chance, he said. Please, give us a chance. So I am. We're trying. But I'm also not giving up on myself anymore. I'm not making myself smaller. If that means our marriage doesn't survive, then maybe it was never supposed to. I think about Daniel sometimes. Wonder if he's found someone else. If he thinks about me. If what we had was real or just two lonely people finding comfort in each other. I don't have the answers to any of it. What I do know is this. I'm 63 years old and I refuse to disappear. Not for my husband, not for my daughter, not for anyone. I'm still here, still figuring it out, still broken, still trying to piece myself back together, and maybe that's enough. For now. So I'm asking you, what would you do in my place? If you were me standing at this crossroads at 63, would you fight for your marriage? Leave and start over? I honestly don't know what the right answer is. Comment below and let me know. And if this story touched you, if you've ever felt invisible in your own life, please subscribe to this channel. Share this video. Let's start a conversation about what it means to lose yourself and try to find your way back, because I don't think I'm the only one going through this, and I don't want any of us to feel alone. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, because I might have an update soon. Or maybe not. Maybe this is just where my story ends, in the middle, unresolved, uncertain. Just like real life. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Please tell me what you think. I really need to know I'm not alone in this.